Hi, I'm Adam Carney, a yoga teacher from Chicago.
And hi, I'm Maddie, a yoga teacher from Seattle, Washington.
And this is another episode of Guide to Teacher Training. So today's topic is the different locations for doing immersive abroad teacher trainings. India versus Bali versus Thailand versus Costa Rica or Central America, you could say.
Yeah.
So let's start with India. So you did your teacher training in India. I did my teacher training in India. Maybe we could talk about some of the positive, what were the positive aspects of India?
For me, I did my teacher training in Rishikesh in northern India, and some positives that I had were just the community and the environment. I really, really enjoyed that part of India. It's a very different side of India.
Rishikesh and Dharamsala have that, where it's like there are these communities where everyone's kind of doing their teacher training and they're like very defined for that.
Yeah.
I would say Bali has that also. Thailand, Costa Rica don't have that.
Yeah.
So you go there and you feel like you're around a whole community of other people in other schools. I think that's really cool, and you do get that in Rishikesh, Dharamsala, and in Ubud.
Yeah, definitely. And that was what I really enjoyed about it, is that also everyone there is taking care of themselves, which I noticed because there's a plethora of yoga schools and classes, meditations, kirtans. Like, there's so much really fun activities that you can do that everyone is partaking in. So you're just surrounded by people that are kind of like cheering you on. It's really cool.
In India, I did mine in Dharamsala, which I love. It's the city where the Dalai Lama lives. There's Buddhist monks everywhere. And so it feels very exotic, and it gets you out of your normal frame of mind, which opens you up to learn a lot of new stuff. I really like that aspect of it. And you feel like you're receiving something very traditional. It's almost so different from anything that you know that it really blows your mind.
Yeah.
It's not like you're, just being around Indian people, they communicate differently. Culturally, they're very different. And you kind of are in awe of that.
Yeah.
When it's around a Western person, I think the information tends to go to the mind a little bit more, because it's just not quite, it's not this like huge paradigm shift.
Yeah.
So that was like, for me, just meeting an Indian person and seeing the world through their eyes, that was super transformative. So I would say that's one of the other positives of India. For me, on the negative side of India, well, first of all, it is like every day there's something that's really difficult there. It's like you're traveling, anything logistically that you have to do just like never really works. And I see now in hindsight, you kind of romanticize it the first time that you're there, right? Oh, the bus broke down in the mountains at 2 a.m., or.
Oh, India.
But in hindsight, I'm seeing that a lot of those things. Another thing for me was like there was no heat, and it got to be like 30 degrees Fahrenheit at night. In hindsight, a lot of these things were just taking me away from my yoga practice.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the same like physical comforts as most places.
And in Rishikesh, one of the negatives I noticed was kind of like the saturation of all the yoga schools. When I was looking online for something, there's pages upon pages of places. And then when you get there, there's even more schools and more things not even online.
And the reality of that is like, they've kind of a lot of the programs, not all of them, there are many good ones, but most of them have become like teacher training factories.
Yeah.
They run like 12 trainings a year. They're just cycling students in and out with the same teachers and kind of stamp you with a certificate. It's not the same like, fully custom experience. And I've seen that's a trend in the industry as a whole, that I think teacher training programs are getting more factory-like, which is unfortunate, but there are many schools out there that are doing good work also. The last thing I'll say about India is like, you're almost guaranteed to get sick. I was just there for 2 months.
Poor Adam.
Yeah. I was only sick 3 times in 2 months, and I consider that a success. Like, it just will happen. It's just something that you kind of deal with, and it's usually minor, but...
Yeah, I agree.
So next, let's talk about Thailand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we met in Thailand. That's where we were just there in December.
I was living there too, so I love Thailand.
Yeah, you used to own a yoga studio in Thailand.
Yes.
So one thing for me about Thailand is like, you don't get that same sort of community feeling that you get in Ubud or that you get in Rishikesh or Dharamsala, just because it's a little more scattered. There's a lot of locations. The teacher trainings are kind of everywhere. Yeah. So that's one thing.
And another thing too is that Thailand survives off tourism, and so everywhere that you go, you'll see a lot of hotels, a lot of tourists, and honestly, it's fine. You're gonna see that everywhere in life, but it's pretty heavy in Thailand.
It is, and it's like.
But it does give the people jobs, so it's like, okay, good. I'm glad the Thai people are taken care of. But like, as a person, if you're trying to kind of get away from tourism, it's a really difficult place.
Yeah, in terms of just how Thailand feels, for me, it didn't feel as spiritual. Like Bali and India, when you go, you just like feel kind of mystical, and Thailand, it feels good. It feels like it feels really comfortable and beautiful, but it feels also a little bit kind of like rigid. Their culture is like a little bit more, it's a little more rigid, and it's more expensive too. For at least for the teacher training programs that I've seen, for whatever reason, the price point is higher.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Just a little bit higher, and sometimes accommodation's not even offered, I've noticed. Yeah.
Which is interesting. So I feel like it's like the industry's a little bit less defined there.
Exactly, like it's just kind of people traveling there, finding locations to host it and stuff. But
so let's talk about Costa Rica now. Have you? What do you know about Costa Rica?
So I actually was looking into hosting yoga retreats in Costa Rica for a little bit there. It's beautiful, and I'm trying to learn Spanish, so I was like, perfect. But with Costa Rica, that I learned, I had a very hard time, kind of like what you were saying with the energy, like I had a very hard time feeling any connection to any place, and I could be, I could just not be looking in the right places, but I don't know, I just didn't feel that I could offer what I wanted people to take from the retreat there. I wanted to do, very like, not like a beachfront thing with drinks.
It feels like Costa Rica, their whole culture has kind of like catered to Americans. So they've kind of just created like what Americans have wanted rather than maintain an authentic culture there.
And there's a lot of Americans that have like bought land, like
exactly.
That's happening a lot.
It felt very, very like almost gentrified in a way. And so I didn't love that. I really didn't have any connection to Costa Rica. It's beautiful. The land is beautiful. I found it really hard to travel around to like do other stuff. Like to get from one town to another, it's super expensive. That's another thing.
And it's also kind of like when you find a good place, it's like far away.
Yeah, and it's not like a flow place. Like if you come to Thailand or Bali or India, you're in the flow and you can end up anywhere, and you're gonna be like led somewhere cool. For there, it's like these tourist hubs, and you're just kind of being like shuttled from one to the next. In terms of the teacher training experiences, like what I see happening there, they're run mostly by Westerners because they don't get the Eastern. They're less influenced by Eastern because it's almost like impossible to travel to Costa Rica from India, Thailand, or Bali, to get people to come there. And so it's usually run by Americans, which that can be okay. But I truly feel that going closer to the source of yoga and on that side of the world, just in general, you'll get better teachers.
Yeah, and I mean flights. If I tried flying from Bali to like Nicaragua, it would cost me $1,300 from here. Yeah. Like it's very, I understand why it is the way it is, but I just didn't feel the authenticity.
And I think that they have more all-inclusive trainings there, but they are like way more expensive.
They're very, very expensive. Like
because it's all Americans.
Yeah, $7,000.
You're getting into that like huge price point.
Yeah, it's very.
So the last location we'll talk about Bali, because Bali, when we were looking all over the world to host our trainings and retreats, like we felt that was like almost like far and above the best location. For me, Bali is the perfect mix of East and West. Bali has maintained actually the most original form of Hinduism. And it's just in the culture. When you get here and you see the smiles on people, even the people who pick you up at the airport, you just get tuned in right away.
And all the offerings, every single morning you will see hundreds of banana leaf offerings to the Buddha, and they offer it not to ask anything in return. They offer it just to offer it. And so it's
they're always like taking care of you. Yes. Every morning they're cleaning, they're leaving little flowers on your place, but even just like logistically, like what you get for the price here in terms of the accommodations, because the Balinese are artists, they're architects, they're designers.
Oh my gosh.
For them, the most beautiful custom spaces with amazing views in the rice fields, it's really affordable. And so it allows people to put on teacher trainings that are quite affordable, that are significantly higher quality, like across the board. Yeah. The food is better. The vegan plant-based food.
I've been eating so much.
I know it's better here than even Los Angeles. To me, it's the number one place for plant food in the world. And then the other thing for me is just the social scene. Ubud has the best yogic social scene, bar none, in the entire world. And it's really not even close, because within 2 square miles there's like 50 health food restaurants, 10 yoga studios, places for ecstatic dance, sound healings, anything that you could possibly want. And it creates this amazing community feel and this like momentum. Yeah, so that's my personal recommendation. Having kind of done stuff everywhere is Bali, and that's why we hold ours in Bali.
Absolutely.
So, and it doesn't feel having now just been to India and Bali back to back, like it doesn't feel any less authentic. In fact, I would even suggest this, I kind of had my belief system around this change, that it feels more authentically spiritual here in the native culture than in India. India's gotten very commercialized. They've gotten savvy about how much they can make off of yoga. And Bali doesn't feel that way to me.
Yeah, there's no competition.
Right.
Yeah, it's nice.
All right, well, this has been another episode. Hope that helped.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Namaste.